This is your Tarotscope for December 15th through December 21st. Our anchor card this week is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. This is a Virgo card, and the Nine of Pentacles, when it's upright, is often talking about independence, often specifically material independence, and a feeling that we've really cultivated a garden of our own. When it shows up in the reverse, sometimes it feels like the cultivation that we've been doing is not yielding the results that we'd hoped for, or we've really been operating on our own for so long that we've forgotten how to be in community with other people, how to share. We might accumulate so much that we get possessive over it. And on the other hand, we might experience scarcity. And so, in either direction that it goes, we might be feeling really attached to some concept of material success or material gain or desire. And it could be steering us off course in some way. Again, that could be by isolating. Maybe for some of us, if we're really struggling financially or just even struggling with the day to day, like keeping up with our responsibilities and keeping up with all of the stuff we have to do to stay alive, we could experience fatigue and kind of crumble into ourselves at times and not seek the help that we need from other people. Whereas, on the other hand, if we really have it all, again, we might get protective over that and even fall into greed or hoarding or any type of behavior that's reflective of a deeper fear of scarcity and a deeper fear of sharing and being in community and learning how to share resources together. So ultimately, there is a call this week for us to practice reciprocity as best we can, to focus on getting our needs met, but also to focus on returning to connection and returning to the community garden, whether that's literal or metaphorical, in order to cultivate something together. Our challenge this week, the Seven of Swords reversed, is coming up with a message about potentially needing to make amends for some people if this Mercury retrograde, which is now over, although we're still in the retrograde shadow period through the beginning of the new year. So we're retracing our steps now, and we're taking stock maybe of some areas, have been taking stock of some areas where maybe we're out of alignment. Maybe we're lying to ourselves or to other people. Maybe there was a shade of manipulation or avoidance or something that just ultimately did not sit right with us morally, ethically, and we're needing to be honest with ourselves about that and maybe be honest with other people. And it doesn't have to be some huge thing. For some of you, it might be. But it could be something small, like I wasn't being emotionally honest with this person, or I even said yes to something I didn't want to do. It could be something as small as that, or it could be something much bigger. Like I really need to get right with myself in this moment, and part of that means maybe coming back to someone or something and having a more honest dialogue, or acknowledging something that happened, or just kind of facing it. When the Seven of Swords is upright, we're often in a place of avoidance and sometimes self-deception, sometimes deception involving other people. And the call, when we see the Seven of Swords showing up reversed, is often that we're sort of slowly edging our way back out of that state and deciding that we're ready to acknowledge something and maybe even come out of denial, right? If deception is showing up in our lives, it's very possible we're lying to ourselves. And maybe that is the ultimate thing that we need to get honest about, is having an open dialogue with ourselves. And that could happen this week. That could happen over the course of the remainder of 2024 as we, again, retrace our steps after this Mercury retrograde period and tie up some loose ends and revisit stuff that we've already dealt with or focused on or spoken about or learned. Finally, our gift this week, the Four of Cups. this feels sleepy. You can see that the person in this card is actually asleep with a cup in their hand. Sometimes the Four of Cups is even a little bit, for me, about overindulgence or becoming kind of apathetic because we've taken something for granted. And then often we're hit with this awareness that we've been missing something that's right in front of us, or there's a general invitation to focus on getting back into a place of gratitude. And it does feel like that's an opportunity that we're seizing this week. We are returning to gratitude, maybe coming out of a period where we were behaving more selfishly or just more wrapped up in our subjective experience and not taking stock of other people's emotions. And it could tie into these other things that we've spoken about, right, with the Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Seven of Swords reversed. And it's possible that when we get more emotionally honest with ourselves, that also helps us tap into gratitude. And again, maybe that's gratitude for ourselves. Maybe it's gratitude for someone we're in a relationship with, or just what we have, or the beauty and the gift of being alive. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. It can be the beauty of breathing and having the gift of a day. So tapping into gratitude this week could do wonders for your heart, for your soul. It could do wonders for your relationships. And this might be the time to start a gratitude practice if you don't already have one. And I'm going to advise that people be careful with substances this week. We do have a Neptune Sun square this week, and we also have a Jupiter Saturn square, and both can bring up difficult stuff spiritually, energetically. They can take a toll on our boundaries. A Sun-Neptune square can be really depleting and cause us to feel exhausted and worn down, and again, also porous. Whereas a Jupiter-Saturn square can sometimes, maybe that's an option for some of you. That could be good remediation. Or sometimes a Jupiter-Saturn square can bring up kind of a crisis of spirituality, a crisis of faith, and a sense of existentialism, scarcity, and then our reaction to scarcity, again, coming through with the Nine of Pentacles reversed, can be the way that we respond to that fear of loss. What does that cause us to do? Often to cling to something more tightly, to be more possessive. And so we're exploring some emotions this week. We're exploring some stuff that's being probably triggered by the astro weather, by the fact that today is a full moon. So this week we're petering off of a full moon in Gemini. And full moons bring up peak emotions. They bring up a lot of stuff. And the Neptunian weather, the Jupiter and Saturn weather, and all of the stuff happening right now is challenging us and challenging our beliefs, often challenging our faith. So tend to yourself through that. Try to be gentle with yourself. Try to be gentle with others. And do your best this week, again, to take stock of what you have. And that doesn't have to be material. I hope you have a good week. Bye.